Hello, everyone. I am Tacit, and welcome to the Gems of All Campaign 13, week 10, day 5. So today, of course, one of the last few days of the current campaign. So if you still want to finish that out, don't forget to do so. Still a few days left, and you can easily get everything done within that time if you really wanted to. So definitely make sure to do so if you haven't already. Aside from that, of course, we covered 2 videos earlier today. One on the Mythic, one on the Faction. Obviously, not much going on with either. The new Mythic, pretty underwhelming, and the new Troop, also even more underwhelming in a sense. But yeah, we do have a new layout, so that's cool. It is better than the past one, though in all fairness, every Deep Delve so far has been better than the original. So that's not anything new, necessarily. However, there's 3 treasure rooms now. This one all the way in the corner over here, this one right over here, and this one right in the middle are all guaranteed. Compared to the normal layout, where the only guaranteed is the one all the way in top left, which I believe I have one set up right over here. Where'd it go? Where's the Dark Pits? Hello, Dark Pits. There it is. But yeah, the only one that's set up in the normal default layout is the one all the way in top left. This guy over here is the treasure room. But so yeah, we have 2 more than normal for the Deep Delve variant, and that's pretty much what we're going to be prioritizing today. Probably going to be running the Guards Avatar team because, of course. And yeah, I actually forgot about it. Instead of that one weapon, you can actually run Abral Crystal. I forgot I was in Soulforge this week. I was going to use it, but the one I switched over to slightly better. But Abral Crystal's still a great option for not blocking it. This one right over here. And it's available in Soulforge for still a few more days. Anyways, so let's go and mess with it. Let's go over to games, go over to the faction events, and yeah, we'll be prioritizing this, at least for the earlier part of this stream. Trying to get as much of the event we can get done. I'll probably use up all of our sigils until we hit 0, probably. I only bought up to tier 3, not sure if we're going to go deeper than that. I believe we have to buy to like tier 4 or 5 in order to get all rewards. However, we don't necessarily need all those rewards, as there's no unique title or other name thingy that you end up getting. And the only other thing you really get is like, what, an orb? A few orbs, a vault key. Yeah, a couple orbs. Actually, there is a title there. Okay, we'll do it. It was just annoying to get later. It's not really, but might as well. If we're already going to need it. Plus his double orb at the end. So yeah, we actually will go for enough, which I think is tier 4, tier 5. I do not recall. One or the other. It's not too bad. Don't have to go too far on it. Anyways, hello everyone. Hope all you guys have been having a wonderful weekend. Finally, Easter weekend. Hello Isabel. Hello Barbara. Hello Arcello. Hello Lester. Hello Gimli. Hello Joyful Dragonfly. Hello Logic Slayer. Hello Genki. Hello Lester. Hello Mr. Jesse. Let's see. Oh, it's your mom's birthday today. Well, happy birthday. Nice. Do we need to sing happy birthday for her as well? We could. She's probably not watching right now. Yeah, I hope she had a wonderful birthday today. Actually, my mom's in about a month from now, actually. Actually, I should probably go get something soon because I actually haven't yet. That kind of reminds me. My own mom's birthday's in a month from now. But anyways, hello, Logic Slayer. Hello, Draco. Hello, Isabel. And hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, she is watching? Oh, we can sing happy birthday to her then. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Mr. Jesse's mom. Not sure what her actual name is. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful Easter right around the corner if you celebrate. As we're pretty much there already. Already got all the food picked up. Actually, my mom ended up making brownies for it, too. They're so good. I only had one so far because we're saving the rest for Easter itself, for dessert. But gosh, they are so, so good. I hope you had a wonderful birthday. But yeah, good reminder that I need to go pick up my mom something. Because that's actually right around the corner. I think it's May 2nd. It comes pretty quick. A lot of holidays and dates like that just come out of nowhere. Like, Easter felt like it somewhat did this year. Though Easter always has, like, a really wide range in which it can occur, which always throws me off. Compared to other holidays that are, like, always on the exact same date. Hello, Jason! Welcome, welcome. Hello, K-Cola. Yep, finally the weekend. What do we need here? We'll take Explosion. Hello, Emanator. Welcome, welcome. But I'm also going to be focusing on the faction today. We really have no need to use the Mythic, as it is pretty useless. The Mythic that came out today. Still nice to have for completionist's sake, but there's just like nothing that it could be built for. And the new troop that came out today too for the faction, I'm not sure what they did with that boost ratio. He does 1 extra damage for every 50 gold he steals. Not only is it unlikely that you'll ever get the 50 gold, because the AI will generally never have that much, even if they're doing a gold heavy team, but that's so little damage. It's so bad. I'm not sure what they were thinking with either of them. Like, when I originally saw the troop that's coming out for this faction, I was like, oh, maybe it's like every 1 gold is 50 damage, in which case, oh, that's gonna one-shot everything. That'd be kind of cool. But no, it's the other way around. Every 50 gold is 1 damage. Also, thank you for the $5 tip, Isabel. Greatly appreciated. Happy Easter. And you already sent chocolates for Easter, too, which is greatly appreciated. Actually, I just finished them out the other day. I'm not sure if I mentioned that on stream yet. But, actually, was it this morning or yesterday? I threw out the garbage for it this morning. I think I finished them yesterday, though. But, yeah, I finally finished all the chocolates. And they did not last to Easter. They did not make it. I tried, but they're so good. I think my mom ended up having like 20-something from it, too. It was like a box of 72. Like, she enjoys them a lot as well. Yeah, we're about to gain a level. You know what? Let's go ahead to Dakota and get a level. Pretty much already there. Oh yeah, they're really good. What order do we want to do this in? I am not a fan of the layout of this delve. It is very convoluted what proper pathing would be compared to an average delve. Because there's a bunch of treasure rooms dividing up the middle. Actually, you know what faction this reminds me a lot of? The non-deep delve version of... Gosh, the Warrens. Warrens? Yeah, the Warrens faction. This is basically the non-deep delve version of Warrens. Because it has like a weird, like, multi-pass-through down the middle. And it's basically that same layout. Like, if I go compare it to Warrens real quick, this is what I'm referring to. Hopefully I have the normal one here. Oh no, I have the deep delve variant. Oh no, never mind. Yeah, this isn't the one I'm referring to. And I don't have enough sigils to go show the right one because I used them all for the video earlier. Which is weird because normally I have like infinite of them, but never mind, I won't be able to show it. But if you have the normal version of Warrens, it reminds me a lot of that layout. I can't show it right now because I don't have any sigils left. But it has a very similar annoying layout to that. Where there's like a multi-pass-through through the middle. It just has more treasure rooms, so you have to path around it even weirder than that. There's one nice thing about the normal version of Dark Pits is it's very straightforward. You basically go down the middle, you go down, well I might as well show it on the actual one. But it is basically the same path every time, so you don't really have to think about it. You go here, then there, then wrap around, then take the treasure room, then there. It makes you go all over the place, but it's very consistent. You always have to take that path pretty much for maximum multiplier, for the most part. Whereas, not so much with the Deep Delve variant. The Deep Delve just goes all over the place. So I'm probably not going to be taking, like, overly optimal rooms. Just because it's just quicker just to take whatever. Don't I have a screenshot to show it? Probably. Somewhere is buried. I have, like, 1 billion screenshots for this game, though. Especially between the 2 computers. We have files that date back to, like, the week that this game came out. Though I'm not sure if I have it on this computer, the ones that date back that far. Because I don't think Steam saves it locally. I mean, it saves it locally on your computer, not through the Steam itself. So even though I took the other ones through Steam, it's not actually on my Steam account. It's on the computer side. It's saved on the hard drive, not on the Steam cloud. Oh, why'd I do that? We already had the win condition. Whoops. Yeah, we got the normal layout. Normal layout has less treasure rooms, but it's a lot easier to path through. So it has that going for it. I wasn't even paying attention. Does the Deep Delve version not have a straight path to the final? I wasn't even paying attention to that earlier. when I was talking about it. Because I don't think it does it? Oh, that's the normal variant. Gosh, now, every single time I'm trying to find one of the variants, I realize I don't have one set up. That's funny. I'm so used to having, like, infinite sigils because I, like, never use them. But because I used all of them for the video earlier today, I have none. Because normally I don't use my 3 every day. And today we used every single one of them, so it feels weird since I don't have access to them as we normally would. You could always buy more, but it's not worth it. It kind of is. It depends on what point you are in the game. You can spend 50 gems for 3 extra battles per day, essentially doubling your battles for 50 gem cost, which isn't too bad a value. I would only really do it if you have a lot of delves to still do. Like, if you're kind of in mid-game in Gems of War and you have, like, a couple thousand gems and you're, like, wondering, what should I go spend some extra gems on? Generally, the 2 answers to that would be the 50 gems per day for extra diamonds from dungeons, as well as the 50 gems per day to do delves a bit quicker. You basically get to 6 battles per day instead of 3. And I do advise doing the non-deep delve variants. They really need to buff what deep delves are. Like, the few extra treasure rooms don't outweigh the amount of progress you would get if you're still progressing through all the delves. If you're still at the point where every single one of your delves is at like 100 or 200 or even lower than that, you want to be progressing through them. You don't want to be doing deep delves. You really only would be doing deep delves if you have like all of them at 500. And even then, it's still not even that worth it. Because the amount of extra loot you get compared to, you know, a standard delve just isn't that high. Like, it's slightly more, but not by a huge margin. Not enough to make them enticing. Which is something I really wish they would have done. I think the biggest missed opportunity with deep delves is the final loot chest still has the exact same drops. I wish they would have made it slightly more unique or slightly more buffed, as it's literally the same chest you would get if you did a standard delve. If that got buffed more, then deep delves would actually be worth it, but they didn't do that, which was very surprising. Oh, so hello, Jonian. Hello, Sushi Ninja. Welcome, welcome. So we still got a lot of battles left. I forgot, when we do the weekend ones, we have so much more than a Tuesday faction event. The Tuesday faction event, you can get to like 80, 90, and that's about it. On the weekend one, you'll be able to get all the way to about 230 to get all the rewards, which is way deeper. It's technically triple as many battles to get just slightly more loot. But we'll probably still do it just for the sake of it. Because we don't really have anything else going on event-wise this weekend. Aside from the holiday of Easter, but you know, in-game, I mean. Also, thank you for the $5 tip, Clip Bomb. Greatly appreciated. Also, hello, welcome, welcome. Hope all has been well. Every little bit helps out a huge, huge amount. But we're really looking forward to Easter. We already got everything planned out for food. Let's see. Didn't you get your Puzzle Quest 3 Mythic Gear set in like 1 month? Wait, Puzzle Quest 3. No. I only got 1 piece of Mythic Gear. And the only reason it was because they changed one of the systems in the game. I still have never gotten a natural piece of Mythic in that game. Mostly because it costs like hundreds of dollars to naturally get it with how it was set up back in the day. Like a year ago. I'm not sure how it is now. But yes, I do have 1 piece of Mythic equipment. It's a pretty good one, or at least at the time it was. I'm not sure if they've nerfed it into the ground by now. But yes, I do have 1 piece of Mythic equipment in Puzzle Quest 3. But it wasn't because... yeah, it took you 2 years. The only reason it was level 50, or why it was Mythic, or whatever the max rarity is again. The only reason it was because I had it leveled to 50, and then they changed how the leveling system works, and it retroactively got buffed all the way to 50. So I ended up getting one basically for free. But yeah, it only happened if you got a legendary piece of equipment fully leveled before they did the leveling rework on how equipment works in that game. So I've never naturally gotten a piece of Mythic equipment. That's actually probably one of the big things that made me even leave the game. In Gems of War, you get basically multiple Mythics per month once you reach the end game. Or, you know, with all the keys that you get and everything else. Like, even this Mythic video opening, we got 2 Mythics when we opened for the Mythic. And we still had plenty of keys left, of course. That barely even dented our stack. And we definitely got more keys between the 2 events. So, in a sense, we almost got like 3 or 4 Mythics, potentially. But even that, we got like a double Mythic. To do the same in Puzzle Quest 3, as Isabel just mentioned, it took her 2 years. And I'm pretty sure she's been playing every day. It's so insane how they made the scaling of the armor. I don't understand why some games do that. What's even weirder is they do it so well in Gems of War, yet do it so horribly in their other game. Because it's such an absurd grind or absurd money paywall. Where it really doesn't have to be. Because I feel like Gems of War does a pretty nice balance of it. Where, you know, you can get multiple Mythics per month once you reach later points in the game. And it's pretty easy to keep up with every new Mythic being added. As we just did earlier today, getting 2 copies of the new mythic and still having plenty left. But I don't know, a lot of games don't do that. And Gems of War balances pretty well, because you can do that, and if you don't want to, you can spend like 50 bucks or whatever it is to just go directly get it, or whatever it is. Actually, they have a couple ways. You can't normally buy mythics, though, I don't think. And it's normally not worth it either. I think you can only buy legends. Like, there's a way to buy mythics, but it takes like once per month, because I'm not sure if many people even bother doing it. I don't really feel like it's not worth it, but I believe you get like one guarantee mythic on, which one was it? I think which one was it? I could have sworn there was one of these. Yeah, the Growth Pack 2. I believe you could buy this infinitely, I think. Or are these one-time buy only? I don't remember. But they are guarantee mythic. Wasn't there one that was also guarantee mythic? Yeah, this one. A mythic after 30 days. So you could technically buy one mythic per month. If you really want. It's not worth it, but you could. So they have like an alternative way if you wanted to do the money route that isn't too bad. But then they also have the, you know, you can just easily open some keys and easily get it route. Because we got the little guy earlier. The Colossus. If I can remember how to spell it. I'm not sure why, but earlier today, and apparently right now, why can I not spell Colossus? Colossus. I cannot spell the word Colossus. There it is. Anyways, hey, we have 2 copies of them. We got them earlier when we were opening some keys. I think we opened like 600 or got 2, which isn't that bad at all. But I don't know. I just don't understand how they can make a system so well in Gems of War, then make it so bad in a different game. This doesn't make much sense. But yeah, I can never remember how to spell Colossus. I think that's like the 3rd time today I've misspelled Colossus. I did it once in the thumbnail before I uploaded it, once like during the video, and once right now. Yeah, just typing in the Cole ends up bringing them up, because he does start with the Colossus. Also, thank you for the $2 tip, Emernator. Greatly appreciated. Gosh, a lot of generosity this weekend. Greatly appreciated. Oh, also, thank you, Tyrion, if I didn't already say thank you for it. I didn't even see yours when I was going on the rant for the other thing. But thanks a ton. The 1-up hippo. Yeah, I'm not even sure what all those stickers are. YouTube has like a billion different ones of them. Unfortunately, we can't make our own custom ones for that. That's fun. But they have a big reserve of their own in-app ones. You types trash mythic. Yeah, I don't understand why they made the mythic so bad. Like, obviously not every mythic is going to be a banger. But, it's like abysmal. Like, it's going on the F tier of the mythic tier list that we're eventually going to cover. Because I think he does deserve F. Like, Stonehammer deserve... Like, if you compare it to Stonehammer, this one's like an F triple minus mythic. Like, Stonehammer was already considered bad, but at least it's like a C-ish tier. Like, out of all the tank mythics, I think it might be the strongest one. Just because the utility purposes that Stun Burn has. And the fact that you can mana accumulate into extra turn, which a lot of them can't even extra turn that well. But Stonehammer somewhat can. The biggest issue with Stonehammer is if he misses, he becomes very useless. But he's at least somewhat more usable than many of the other tank mythics. E-. It's going to be Z- tier. We're going to have an S+++ tier. But we need to make like an F triple minus tier for him. No, there's not going to be anything lower than F. I'm not even sure how I'm going to fill out some of the tiers still. Like some of the lower tiers. Because I think the biggest issue that I found when trying to place a lot of the mythics is pretty much every mythic lands in either S tier, A tier, or useless. There's not much in between. Like, they're either exceedingly good, or you're never going to touch them a single day in your life. That's basically the 3 types of mythics in the game. So having like 6 categories or something similar is a little bit hard to place them all. I kind of need to, so they, you know, there's at least some spread. But, oh no. It is all kind of collapsed into like the same 3 general categories of exceedingly good, usable, and things you will never use under any circumstance ever. Pretty much how mythics go. As well as pretty much all troops for the most part. But there are some that are useful in like really particular situations. Which of course can make them good. Like Guard's Avatar. Guard's Avatar is by no means like one of the best troops in the game. But when it comes to running low-level delves, he's one of the strongest options in the entire game. It's one of those. That's one of the weirdest things about ranking, probably like any troop in this game, because if you're just doing like a generalist, it's weird how you have to rank them because some things are just really absurdly good in one single category, but awful everywhere else. Like for example, Guard's Avatar, you generally never want to run in Guild War. The main reason for this is Guard's Avatar is set up as a momentum troop, and if you start losing momentum, you kind of just auto lose. Normally in Guild Wars, you want to have things that can win when they're down, which is something Guard's Avatar can't do. If he loses all of his armor, he's basically useless and won't really be doing anything. So he's really strong when he has his armor, but really bad when he doesn't. But when you are losing, you're generally taking damage to your armor, which makes him really bad in that situation, which makes him bad in Guild War. But that makes him really good in modes like this, because he basically gets to keep his armor the whole time, and hits very hard because of it. So, like, for example, in something like Factions, he's like S tier, A tier. But in the context of Guild War, he's like C or D, because the second he takes any damage, you just auto-lose the fight if you don't have a second backup damage source on you. It's the same reason I actually stopped using Ketris the Bull in Guild War. He's really good damage, but he has the exact same issue where once he starts losing stats, he can't make a comeback. And you generally need comeback mechanics for Guild War in case he gets super RNG'd with a bad starting board, or multiple bad turns, or just anything bad going wrong. And things that can't make a comeback tend to be really bad in Guild War. It's one of the reasons why Weaver is so good. It's one of the best troops in the game for making a comeback. Anything under that category tends to be more Guild War centered. Because Rarachnid Weaver is by no means a quick winning troop, but it's really good at not losing. Same as that one we got from the Kingdom Pass. The Raven of the Court of Raven, whatever his name is, King of Ravens. King of Ravens is really good at not losing, but it's not good at winning quickly. It's just good at never losing, which is more of a Guild War option compared to like Explore 12 farming option. As an Explore 12, you'd want to go as quick as possible, and he doesn't do that. But in Guild War, mana drain is very useful, especially if you can 4 mana drain every turn like you pretty much can. Yeah, Fallen Valdis and Gargantar, compared to some mythics they've been adding, almost look good. Yeah, Fallen Valdis I think is one of the funniest bad mythics. Mostly because it was added at a time when Divine meta was literally the thing. So basically, Divine-ish, the way that Fallen Valdis works is that boost ratio is based on how many Divines are on the opposing team. It was added in a meta where like 90% of all teams were 4 times Divine. And even then, it was still considered one of the worst troops in the game. Even when almost every fight you did was 4 Divines, it was still considered bad. Which is, in theory, when it should have been the strongest it has ever been. But it was still unusable. Even in that circumstance, it is that bad. Oh, I need to switch to armor. I haven't done this entire time yet, but should probably have done that a little bit earlier. I was like, wait, why are we not one-shotting? We should be one-shotting at this range, but because I have not set any armor whatsoever. There we go. We will start to reach a point where we stop one-shotting with this team, of course. But it's normally around 100. It's one of the reasons why I say it's level 20 to 100. Obviously, they fall off slightly differently depending on what your stats are. They could fall off as early as like 60 or 70. But the main reason I say 20 to 100 is that is generally the range later in the game that they can go the entire time. Though, of course, it could vary slightly depending on overall stats. Oh yeah, Divine Protector meta was fun. They nerfed almost every single thing except Divine Protector. Ishbala got lowered to 40% and doesn't have its cleanse anymore. They got rid of Ubistet's super high boost ratio. Though honestly, I feel like Ubistet's starting to make a comeback. With how stats are starting to get higher and higher, I feel like he's actually becoming increasingly more viable, even after his nerf ages ago. Because there was a downtime where he wasn't as usable, because there wasn't as much attack in the game and they lowered his boost ratio by a lot. But now that a more attack value is starting to come slowly into the game over time, I feel like the last year or two he's started to become a lot more viable. I even showed him for one of the teams for the faction. Actually, I might be using him soon now that I say that. Might have to be switching to him in another battle or two as soon as this team falls off, because I believe I mentioned a Ubistet team for the higher rarity one for the video earlier today. By earlier today, I mean like a couple hours ago. I ended up taking a nap throughout the day and got a few other things done. My sleep schedule has been so weird since Monday. And it has not been repaired yet. I hope to this weekend, particularly with Easter. I'm probably waking up pretty early for Easter. But Monday this week, or Sunday into Monday, really threw off my sleep schedule. Hello, George. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's go switch to the Ubestedt team. We were literally just talking about it. Might as well switch to them. Because the team's starting to fall off now. Which is about the time it normally does. Which is why it's called the 20 to 100 team. And there we go. Of course, those are estimates. Sometimes you can switch out earlier or later. But let's go switch this out. Okay, well, first things first, let me go switch over to the banner setup. I know I just switched this moments ago, but back to the other one. And let's go grab the one from the video. The good old Rope Dart Ubestedt. So Rope Dart Ubestedt is only good if and only if you can combo it into a insta-kill. If you are at a damage range where you can cast Rope Dart and then cast Ubestedt and then you double kill and then you do it again and then you double kill, then he is usable. If you're at any range where that does not occur, he's not worth using. But if you are at that range, then he is worth using. And he should be at that range. So let's go and use it. We just get all of our mana. We get our Rope Dart ready. Boom, boom, boom. Kill out whatever the biggest threat is. Double kill. Dead. Actually, our Rope Dart's literally enough just to one-shot them. We might be using this team a little bit too early. But that's fine. Oh yeah, I didn't hand out a code. Oh yeah, I said when we get a level I would. And we got a level like 5 minutes ago. Or 10 minutes ago. I have no clue. Here you guys go. Enjoy the code. Let's see. What would you pick from Tyrion's comment? Oh, it was Tyrion's comment. Not sure if new mythic is F tier. Let's see. Wait, what is he spelling out? Let's see. That's funny. I don't want to say the word. I realized it the second I said the F one after the other one. What it was starting to spell. But yeah, it's pretty bad. Alright, let's see. Is this actually enough damage output? No! The Entangle! Wait. It actually does that? Wait, does Rope Dart's Entangle retroactively hit the next target? I don't recall that being a mechanic, but apparently it is. How to misbehave while behaving? You having 1 HP is really bad because now I'm not in kill range. But now we are. Wait, is this the 1.4 times room? Yeah, it is. We'll take that one, I guess. The 1.4 times room is always weird to calculate when you should take it. Because it has a really good gold pool, but it also has a 1.4 times multiplier. So I'm always confused as to when I should take it sequentially for maximum order. I'm pretty sure someone has made a calculator for it on some kind of website at this point. I would never bother using it though. We don't need to try hard at that much. Optimal layout compared to non-optimal layout is generally a loot difference of only like 10%, if even that. Yeah, it seems like the Entangle does come after. That's actually the case because of how the extra effects work on a weapon. They're all considered affixes, so they all occur after the actual ability itself. So the extra turn and damage triggers before the Entangle, because the Entangle is not from the weapon, it's from the... Actually, sorry, the extra turn takes place after too. But it's from the... what's it called? The... Gosh. Yeah, the affix, because the Entangle's right there. I was just trying to wait until it shows up, but there it is. But, yeah, it does take place after the fact, so it would Entangle the next one down the line. Actually, one weird interaction, which I don't think I've seen yet. Oh, most because... Actually, does such a mechanic exist? I guess it kind of does. But one thing that'd be kind of weird with Rope Dart, that I've never actually seen, though it could happen, is if you killed something with the Rope Dart, and its effect is it gets to freeze you on death, or freeze you after you cast. For example, let's say Frost Feather. Normally, Frost Feather would not negate your turn, your extra turn, because the sequence that it goes in, it already checked your extra turn beforehand. However, I believe there is a rare circumstance where if you use a weapon that has extra turn on it, it will end up denying your turn in that particular situation. But only if it's on the affix of a weapon. I've never actually seen that interaction, but I assume that would occur that way, due to it taking place after the fact. Because every single weapon like that actually has basically 2 phases, where it does everything on its ability and then everything under its special abilities, which are basically just the affixes, or at least the term they gave to it a long while back. Not sure if it has a proper term these days, because it actually doesn't mention it by any name in game, what those effects are called. At least in the current state of the game, it used to. But, I don't know, there's a lot of weird interactions with them due to the order sequence that they go in. Most of them very rarely applicable. But good interactions to know for Guild War eventually. Guild War is literally just like a mechanic test most of the time. Like, what does this interaction of mechanics do in this situation? So that it doesn't backfire. Because there's a lot of weird interactions. Ubistet's still doing pretty good. I used to use Ubistet quite a bit in the past for delves. I stopped for the longest time, but honestly, I've kind of been using him again over the last several months. Last year or so. Even after the huge nerf he got ages back, he's kind of making his comeback. He never really fell off for the most part. It's just as we have more attack value, he becomes increasingly more viable again. A lot of troops are actually under that category. It's one of the reasons why Rowan is so insane in the current state of game, as well as Thrall and such. There are just some troops that scale very, very well from having higher stats. So as stats get higher in the game, they become increasingly better until they eventually become nerfed, if they're ever going to at all. And generally, troops that scale based on any stat tend to do that. As those tend to keep going up, whereas quite a few other mechanics in the game stay static. Like, for example, let's say something that boosts ratios from how many gems are on the board. There's never going to be more gems on the board, because I highly doubt Gems of War will ever have a different grid than, you know, the one we're normally always use for every board. So that's never really going to change. But what can change is stats constantly being higher. So anything that does boost from those, you know, they keep getting stronger and stronger. Whereas all those other ones keep staying the same strength they've always been. Which is something we can actually see with Diamantina. Even though Diamantina is very strong in the current state of the game, there could become a point where, due to it having a limited amount of boost ratio from the board, it might not scale as much. The main thing that's going to keep Diamantina around for the longest while is not actually its skull boost ratio, but more so the fact that it does double its magic as damage. So kind of like how Phoenicia does double its damage when there's a firestorm. That dragon just naturally does double its magic as damage. And that will make it so every magic that comes into the game is 2 additional damage for it. Which does allow it to scale quite a bit better. So it's both something that can scale off of a stat, in a sense, while also having something that scales off the board. Which is an interesting mix most troops don't have. Speaking of which, Diamantina video soon. We should be able to cover it next week. And very, very soon after, hopefully we can cover the Mythic tier list. Because then we officially have all the Mythics. Because the only Mythic I'm missing now is the second Diamantina. And then we will once again have every Mythic in the game. Oh no! Why? No! He just double 25%'d us. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Luckily, this team is pretty good at cleaning up any remaining options. But, gosh, he literally just double 25%'d us. Because I don't think anything has a higher percent than that to revive those thingies. Oh, that's so unfortunate. They even added those in that rework they did to Zolkiri back in January. Which, honestly, I don't feel like that was much of a rework. Like, that literally happened a couple months ago, and I almost completely forgot about it. The Zolkiri rework we had not too long ago. They didn't really do that much. They'll make micro gems so more fit on the board. I'm not sure why, but the first thing I think of with that, there was actually a Mario Party game. I think it was in Mario Party 3. Where it was almost like a Tetris-like game kind of thing. But you had to keep, like, putting these blocks onto a board. But then there was a bunch of thwomps that would, like, make those gems into smaller gems. That's the first thing I think of when I think of that. Where you could, like, crush the gems. And it was kind of cool because multiple gems could take up the same space. Like, for example, this brown could have, like, let's say a purple, a red, a green, and a blue. Technically, we already have that in a sense, but it's not like a crush multiple gems. It's simply, elemental stars, or the wild cards. Those kind of are the closest equivalent Gems of War has to that. Yeah, there was a mechanic where you could have like 4 single ones on a single tile. I highly doubt Gems of War ever do that, since we kind of already have power gems that do somewhat similar to that, but not quite. We do power gems that take up 2 colors, power gems that take up 4 colors, power gems that take up all 6 colors. Because we have Elemental Star, whatever the other star is called, I can't remember its name, and Wild Card. So those 3 are all singular gem spaces that count as multiple colors on the gem space. Also, didn't the Mario movie come out recently? I haven't seen it. There's one that's come out recently that I might check out. But I still haven't been to the theater since the pandemic. I just never really bothered getting back into it. And the closest theater by me, I think, shut down. Probably due to pandemic. And now they're just like forever closed because they probably went out of business. Because there wasn't getting enough business. And now, like, the only theater near me is in the mall. And the mall is not close to my location. Like, at all. I think it's like a half an hour drive or so. It's not particularly close. Especially, it's definitely not walking distance. Whereas the other one was actually walkable. So now if I just want to, like, casually go to a movie theater, it's just a lot more effort, too. Compared to literally just doing, like, a 10-minute walk to get to one. Like I was able to before the pandemic. So who knows, maybe they have reopened it. I know for the longest time they had it closed for 2 reasons. One was the pandemic. The second reason was they were doing a bunch of construction in the area on a bunch of the surrounding areas, which basically meant they had to, like, close down, as, like, pretty much everything around them had construction going on it. Oh no, he just mana drained me. Oh yeah, today's the last few days we have to deal with the mana drain gem, by the way. Today, tomorrow, and Sunday are the last 3. Until it is gone forever. Though it's not going to be truly gone forever. You're still going to see it on King of Ravens a lot. Next Guild War, I wouldn't be surprised if we see, like, 5 King of Ravens over the course of the Guild War days. Because it's probably going to become a pretty popular Guild War defend option. The only problem is the AI does not use it that well. Like, in theory, it could be really well, but the AI tends to not utilize it properly. Which is the case for almost everything, but particularly in the case of that. Feels like it doesn't do it as well. So the only problem with using Rope Dart with this team, though you generally have to because it's extra turn armor tier, is you are entangling them, which means you're getting less boost ratio for his attack boost ratio. Though the amount of armor tier you do combined with the extra turn outweighs the less attack that it has on it. Hello, Easy Breezy. Welcome, welcome. Oh gosh, it's been a while since you've been to the movies then. It's a really long while. You really thought the drive-in would have had a huge comeback with the contactless? Oh yeah, that would have actually been really cool. Whatever did happen to the premise of that? Like, outside eateries that also had, like, a movie sitting area. Like, I don't understand why those went away. Because those in premise actually seem really cool. Where you could just, like, drive up in your car, order from a place like Sonic, or, you know, any of those other similar places that you kind of eat outside. But you're also still, like, in your car. But then have, like, a movie thing playing that happens at a certain time. I'm not sure why those went away. Like, in premise, they seem like they would work really well. Oh, in practice, I'm not sure of any place that really does it anymore. Like, the food portion, yes, but, like, the movie and the food portion, not really. Because that was before my time. I don't think I've ever actually been to one of those before. But the premise of them always seemed kind of cool. Like, come on, Egg, don't you dare revive. Hey, it's the Easter egg. We found one. Let's see. Does he get the revive? He does not. Perfect. But I think he was already stunned. Wait, does he? Do we even have anything that can stun? I think I'm using Elementalist right now. No, we have no way to stun on this team. No, excuse me. Gotcha. I love when Ubistet works correctly. Such a satisfying troop. They had a version like throwing popcorn at a movie screen, but you would just beep your horn if it was bad. Actually, I got in a popcorn fight with a friend back like after high school. I think it was like 18 around the time. Obviously, it wasn't like a fight, it was a playful fight. But it was really fun. We just like pelted popcorn at each other in the parking lot of a movie theater. And it was like, at that point, it was like 8 or 9 p.m. So, you know, it was really dark, so we could easily get away with it. It was funny because a police car was going by at the time and they were just kind of watching us. Like, obviously we weren't doing anything that they would really need to, like, interfere with. But, you know, we were kind of littering a bit of popcorn, but the birds will take care of it. It was a lot of fun. Not sure what she's been up to these days. Because I think when we both went to college, we, like, never kept in contact. Honestly, almost everyone from high school I am not in contact with. I was for maybe, like, a year or two after. And then after that, it's like, oh. I haven't kept up with any of them. Yeah, she was one of the friends I had from the academy. Which is kind of funny because almost every close friend I had from there was female. I had almost no guy friends in high school. Which is kind of funny because now it's like the entire inverse, like a decade later. Because in high school, I pretty much like only had female friends. And now these days, I pretty much only have guy friends. Not counting people from the channel. But I mean, like, everyone else who I end up meeting are pretty much just all guys. Who share similar interests. I find that after high school, it's a lot harder to find females that have similar interests. Generally speaking. I know, of course Isabeau's our friend. We also have Genki and other people. It makes sense you're allergic to nuts after all. More like nut cases. There's a lot of crazy people out there. Maybe we have a lot of good friends to the channel. Luckily. But I do feel like after high school and college, I don't really bother making friends in college. It just becomes a lot harder to make friends, generally speaking. Because everyone's always so busy doing their own thing. So it's hard to really connect with people. And I know in the case of my mom, like, I'm pretty sure 90% of the people she are friends with right now, not counting family, it's literally just all people from work. Like, nothing but people from work, pretty much. I think there's, like, one person she hangs out with, and it was someone else from, like, her last job. It's technically not from her current work, but it's like someone from her other work. So now that I think about it, I think every friend she currently has is literally just work friends and no one else. Except for maybe like a few exceptions. I know it tends to happen a lot these days, I feel. The internet has made us a lot more isolated. There's not really good, like, gathering places where you can kind of just, like, go to these days. Compared to in the past. I'll catch you later, Jason. Thanks for stopping by. We lived 100 meters from a drive-in. From bedroom window, you could watch a lot, like Jaws. Oh, that's pretty cool. I know one thing that was pretty nice, so it's not even remotely similar. But there was like an almost like an outside ice cream place near me where I used to live in elementary school. And it was so convenient because even though I wouldn't walk it, if I was to ever walk to school there, it was like right along that path. Like it was so easy to get to. It's like just on the corner of the street. So it was like this nice open area where you could just get ice cream at any point. It was very convenient. Not quite the same, but it was very enjoyable. There's one of those ice cream places that's kind of like an indoors-outdoors ice cream place. It's hard to explain. But like it's enclosed enough that, you know, obviously not insects or anything else are getting to all of it. But it's still pretty much like an outside establishment. That isn't necessarily like in an enclosure. Almost like a food truck, but for ice cream, in a sense. That's not quite exactly what it was, but closest equivalence I can think of to like compare it to. Also, that's something that the state of New Jersey actually got rid of, which was so unfortunate. They had a bunch of policies, and basically all the food trucks there basically had to shut down and make like their own like proper business place. And a lot of places like that had to either build their like a bigger place or just close. And the main reason I mentioned that is there's actually a really good hot dog stand. I had a few other things other than hot dog, but hot dogs was definitely probably the main thing I got from them. So I think they were only like $1 or $2 each at the time. But they actually had to close down and start their own, like, you know, enclosed business. Because they wouldn't let them keep running from the truck. And it's kind of unfortunate because it kind of went downhill from there, and I think they eventually had to close. Because the cost of keeping a place maintained like that was way more overhead than what they had before. Are we playing Zelda tomorrow? No, I won't be able to. I was considering it, but I don't think I'm going to end up having time tomorrow. Not to mention I'm going to be busy all of Sunday, which, of course, for Easter. So I won't be able to do it then either. But we will be doing Mega Man Battle Network starting that next week. And I do want to go try to do Zelda before we do Tears of the Kingdom. So we are going to try to get those close to each other if we can. But yeah, next weekend we're going to be doing Battle Network, Mega Man Battle Network. As well as pretty much most of next week as well. And then the week after that, I believe, is Gems of War Vault event. As well as the 7-year anniversary of the channel. And then the week after that, I think we might be able to do Breath of the Wild. And I think the week after that, Tears of the Kingdom comes out. Gosh, there's so many things happening at once. Honestly, every game I was interested in all year, they all come back out in a month period. So like every week we're going to be doing something different pretty much. Though I do need to go revisit the Battle Network series. Because that's going to take us way longer than a week. Honestly, one game might take us a week and there's 6 of them. So I'm not sure exactly how we're going to spread that out. Because that could easily take the next couple months. Because each game could easily take a month. I'm pretty sure. Because they're kind of split into like chapters in a sense. And last I recall, each chapter would take probably about an hour to a few hours. And I'm pretty sure each one had several chapters. And there's 6 total games. Technically more if you count all the versions, but I'm obviously not playing both versions of every game. Because I think for 3 they had Blue and White. For 4 they had Sun and Moon. Which then Nintendo did like a decade later, which was funny. Because they took it from... They took the whole naming convention from Pokemon, like the multi-version thing. But it's kind of funny because technically Mega Man Battle Network technically did Sun and Moon before Pokemon did Sun and Moon, even though they originally took the concept from Pokemon. But then eventually Pokemon took the Sun and Moon title for their Gen 6 or Gen 7, whatever it was. I think it was Gen 7. Because Mega Man 3 was Blue and White, 4 Sun and Moon, 5 was... Gosh, I can't remember. Actually, I completely forget what it is for 5 and 6 now. I'm going through naming all of them. I don't remember. Have I ever played any of the classic PC RPG games? I don't know. It depends what you count as classic RPG games. Like, the most classic I've probably played in that regard are RuneScape Classic. Not to be confused with old school RuneScape, which was even a more dated version of that. But I played that. I played... I think I played Diablo 1, though I have way more memories of Diablo 2. And I can't think of too many other ones. But I've never played any of, like, the super text-based RPG games. The ones that are literally, like, all text. If that's what you're referring to. Have I ever played any of the Might and Magic games? No. A lot of those were too far before my time. Because I don't even think I had internet until, like, the year 2000. So anything before that time, I, never really got to play. Unless it was, like, a standalone video game that didn't require internet. Because most of my gamings from like 1997 to like the 2000s were pretty much all console stuff. I don't think I even had a PC until I was like 6 or 7. It wasn't even mine, it was just a family PC. Because I was more around the time of like the RuneScape era, Warcraft 3, Worms Armageddon. I don't know what other games were big around the time. Gunbound. Gunbound was fun. I think it still runs these days, but it has like almost no player base. Actually, we have never streamed Gunbound. I should go revisit that game sometime. I can't remember when Gunbound first came out. Actually, let me go check. Also, gosh, I do not have any feeling in my hand right now. Wait, give me a second. I was about to go search it with my hand, but it's like stiff. Because I've been sitting on it this entire stream, which means I've been sitting on it for like 50 minutes straight. And now it has no feeling. Wait, give me a second. Wait. I need to be able to feel my hand first. Alright, there we go. When did Gunbound come out? I remember playing this a lot. I think I would have been like 10? When was Gunbound first released? Gunbound release... Yeah, 2003. Now, this was a fun game. So this game is actually 2 decades old at this point. Oh, we might need to play this in August for the 2-year anniversary of it. Assuming it's still around. Wait, is it actually on Steam? Wait. It has a Steam version? Is it free to play on Steam, too? Gosh, it's mixed. Oh, the game must have went super downhill. What happened? Oh, that doesn't look like Gunbound. What happened? Oh, no. What even is this game? Let's see. Gunbound M. What did they do to my Gunbound? They've ruined the Gunbound! This is not Gunbound. I know, what did they do? That's not Gunbound. They ruined the OG Gunbound. We need Gunbound Classic now. Yeah, that review basically summarizes exactly what I think right now. Where is actual Gunbound? Does it not exist anymore? Oh, that's unfortunate. It was such a good game. Apparently they ruined it. Kind of like what they did to Warcraft 3 Reforged. But, oh, that's unfortunate. We might not be able to play Gunbound. They completely decimated what it was. Aww. That's unfortunate. That was a really good game. It was similar to Worms Armageddon in the Worms games, but you only had to control one unit rather than a billion. So it really consolidated the skill a lot more, because you didn't have to worry about a whole team of worms. You just had basically a single tank you had to worry about. And it made the formula of the game a lot simpler to understand, but still a lot more skill-based, because you didn't have to worry about a billion units, just a single one. But it was very similar to the Worms games, but with a lot less mobility and a lot more emphasis on projectile and how you end up using them. Let's see. Take that one. Honestly, I'm about to just go this way and keep making a circle, so I don't have to keep clicking all over the place. You played the original Neverwinter on AOL. Gosh, yeah, I remember AOL being so slow for so many things. But the things I played on AOL was like Gunbound, RuneScape. What other games? Warcraft 3. What else was actually strong enough for AOL to function on at the time? Those were probably the main three, as far as internet games. Yeah, that's sad. Gunbound might not exist anymore. They may have ruined it. I'll look into that more later, because it is technically the 2-year anniversary of it coming around, or 2-decade anniversary coming up for it. Later this year. So I might need to look to see if there's a version that isn't complete trash. Because I'm pretty sure there's some people who might run some private servers for it somewheres, who run like the OG version of it. Not sure how active it would be. But it's probably out there somewheres on the internet. Do I ever think they'll add more dragons to keep Dragonite relevant? I'm not sure. Though I do like the premise that Dragonite can forever be used on additional dragons going forward. Like, I like the premise of that. Like, a Dragonite currency being used to get dragons. And they keep adding more dragons to that category. Like, I wouldn't mind that. I don't think that would be too detrimental. Though I do believe they need to fix the RNG eggs, though. They need to do something about that. But as long as the next 6 or whatever they do to add more isn't as annoying as the RNG eggs, I wouldn't mind it. Because it's a good way to add more dragons to the game. Because they pretty much just have a dragon currency now that they theoretically could just keep adding stuff to at a later point. Just not through the RNG eggs. Whatever you do, do not make it more RNG eggs. As long as they don't do that, I feel like it'd be fine. Oh, what am I doing? We already got the oops step. I haven't used this team in such a long time, yet I'm still going through the motions as if we play it like every day. Without even looking at the screen sometimes. Yeah, the problem with Dragonite and many resources in the game is they don't do enough support for it after the fact. And it basically just becomes a dead currency after a while. That's an issue of most free-to-play games, but of course Gems of War does it a ton. They're not any different. Well, they'll add like 1 billion currencies, then eventually the currency doesn't have any purposes left and then does nothing. And then even if they give it some kind of purpose in the future, it doesn't give it enough purpose to be viable. And then it just becomes useless again soon after. Oh, the best way to do it would be kind of like how the later stages of Diamantina are, where you simply just exchange the high amount of currency for a guaranteed drop. Kind of like how mythics are crafted. Almost like an alternative diamond in a sense. Or you simply just have the currency, you use it, and then boom, you have it. Rather than having to go through the RNG machine. You don't mind the RNG, but you're on the luckiest side of it. That's why you don't mind the RNG. Like, one thing that's kind of annoying that's super luck-based too is, luckily we already have 2, so we don't have to worry about it as much. But one of the other bad examples of it in the game is the Horde Mimic. The Horde Mimic is the most luck-based achievement in the entire game currently. Because it requires you to randomly just RNG into Horde Mimic while doing Explore 12. Like, yes, if you do a ton of Explore 12, you're eventually going to get it. But the disparity between how many you would have to do is so high. Like, you might have to do Explore 12 for a week or 2 years. Depending on how your luck goes. Or lack thereof. Like, yes, Explore 12 is already a piece of content you would probably do a lot. Just because of how much it helps progress. But there's a wide range on how long it would take until you actually get the Horde Mimic for the first time. I know, my mana, I need that. Yeah, the trolliest PvP defend team you can have right now is 3 Horde Mimics with a Tina or Diamantina, or having 4 Horde Mimics. Those are the 2 trolliest. What's hello, Shelly? Welcome. You may have forgotten the Horde Mimic twice in the last month. Oh, you may have gotten it? Nice. Yeah, it took us a couple months to get our first one. Then we got the other one randomly, like, 5 months later or something. And then we haven't gotten one since. I still meant to cover a video on that, too. It's been 1 year since Horde Mimics. And I still have a bunch of data I wanted to share. Some of you might already know, but I still kind of want to cover a nice little, like, 5-minute video on it. Just never got around to it. I keep putting it off like the Mythic tier list video. It just keeps not happening. I need to go do it. But yeah, 2 Horde Mimics within a couple months is insanely lucky. Well, yeah, when I say 4 Tina, I meant 4 Horde Mimic. Not 4 Tina. I'm not sure why I said 4 Tina. I meant 3 Horde Mimic with a Tina. Though with how much more common Tina's becoming, it's technically rare to have 4 Horde Mimic. Tina was only, like, really rare back in, like, November and maybe December. January was when the average person was getting it. And if you were like us, you would be in the unlucky category if you were getting it in, like, March or April. Assuming you've been playing since the day and buying it every day. But there's also a lot of people who just aren't buying it every single day, too. Because it does suck a lot of resources. It's like 300 gems per day. Speaking of which, we haven't done that yet. We should probably go do that. I haven't ran through all the other dailies yet because we keep just doing the dungeon. So as soon as we clear this out, we'll go clear out all the other dailies and go grab our Dragonite because we need it. Only a couple days until we have our second Diamantina. Oops, that didn't kill, did it? I forgot to rope dart. Whoops. Mistakes have been made. Hello, McDoubledad. Welcome, welcome. Alright, let me go do this. Get the... Oh, no! The only problem with doing that, that's not enough damage to wipe him out now. Oh, that works. Never mind. Perfect. Alright, so let's finish out this delve. Then we'll go and head over to all the dailies then. Since me mentioning that actually reminded me, I have not actually done any of them yet because this entire stream we've pretty much just been running the faction event. So we're pretty much going to be done with it at least going into tomorrow. So that's nice. We'll have to deal with it. As it's pretty much completed. Almost, not quite. We need to get to about floor 230 for it to be all the way done. Right, 3 more battles, unless we get a Valraven. Though even if we do, I'm probably going to do those 2 battles tomorrow. And not bother with them right now, just so we can go clear out the dailies. And then we'll end it on that then. You think using 4 Gloomleafs would be even more trolly? That would only work if they have like a skull reflect or a skull damage team. Also, they added a higher skull reflect troop in the game too. I can't remember what it is because it was kind of useless. But there's some kind of troop in the game that has like 75% or 100% skull reflect. Which honestly should be what Gloomleafs is. Gloomleaf should be buffed to 100% skull reflect. And that skull reflect mythic should be buffed to like 200% skull reflect. The big issue with skull reflect or reflect tanking in Gems of War is it doesn't do enough damage. Reflect tanks are a really fun build. And they actually did it really well in their game Puzzle Quest 1. Like, Puzzle Quest 1, they pretty much perfected doing Reflect Tank. And it's really weird because every time they've ever implemented it since then has not been good, including in Gems of War. Reflect Tanks are not a proper build in Gems of War. Even though we have multiple mechanics that do it, like the Reflect mechanic, Skull Reflect, stuff like that. We don't have Spell Reflect, though. We have a Reflect mechanic that can reflect spell damage, but we don't have Spell Reflect like we have Skull Reflect. Like, we don't have Gloomleaf's equivalent for spell damage. Only for skull damage, and it can only hit spell if you use the actual stats effect of Reflect. But there isn't just like a passive trait that gives you spell Reflect, at least currently. The main reason for this is the way that spell damage is calculated is a bit more complicated than how skull damage is calculated within this game. And is probably coded in a way where they might not even be physically capable of doing it as a trait. It's one of the reasons why Hero doesn't have some traits, like Necromancy and such. As the code base in the game actually kind of prevents them from even doing so without there being major glitches. Because they explained that a long while back. But anyways, let's go grab our tribute, clear out everything else. Hey, 31. Gosh, the tribute's been so high lately. Let's go clear out our dailies. Obviously with the good old team that we need a little bit of XP on. If I could find where it is. Did I overwrite it earlier? No, I didn't. Good old Spirit Walker. I think he's gaining a level today. Is he? Hey, finally. One step closer. Come on, he's almost there. Level 100, right around the corner. Just give it another month and he'll be level 1,000. I mean, 100. So close yet so far. Slowly but surely, he shall reach his full potential. And by full potential, I mean he's pretty much already there because the perk he gets from being maxed does almost nothing. Though in all fairness, it does do like a little bit of durability. Because it does affect his typing at least, the War Gears. Because I think it's like some kind of buff to War Gears per turn. I think it's like a little bit of life or something. It's generally not going to ever be relevant because it doesn't help you win quicker. Well, you know, it can help you survive a hit or something. Oh no, they're not getting one-shotted. That's why we have Black Manacle on this team. Which I'm not always running there, but generally if I remember to switch it, we do. Hey, there's our level up. 96. One step closer. 4 more levels to go. It'll only take about another month. At current XP rates that we've been doing. If we really wanted to, we could get it done in like 2 hours or less. At this point, probably an hour and a half. But we're slowly, passively going to get it done. Without using any additional time. Setting 4 times Firebomb on your defend team, or just bad defend teams in general, is actually good. It's a weird meta that has always existed pretty much in Gems of War. Where specifically for PvP defend, not for Guild War defend, but specifically PvP defend, it is actually more beneficial to set a really bad team. And the main reason for this is because whenever you get a revenge battle, the revenge battle is worth more loot than a non-revenge battle. So basically, you actually want your defend team to constantly lose as consistently as possible, as it'll give you more loot when you're actually running PvP. This is more so only relevant if you do run a lot of PvP, which I personally haven't really been doing as much lately. So my defend team just tends to be whatever. But if you do run a lot of PvP, you generally want your defend team to be as horrible as possible so you get fought more often, which gives you more revenge battles, which in return gives you more loot. As revenge battles do 2 things in the current state of the game. I believe they give you 3 or 5 extra glory, whatever it is. But more importantly, they also double the amount of gold you would have gotten for the fight, which is probably the main reason it's used for, more so than the small amount of glory. Because a small amount of glory is not much of a buff, but the amount of gold per hour you can buff by having a lot of revenge battles is quite a bit of a difference. Like, you can end up getting almost like 30% more if you just constantly have revenge fights rather than just standard fights like these. But anyways, out of the way. Let's go run down dungeon, and we'll end it there. Oh, top 3? Oh, guess that door time? Oh, it is! Okay, let's play Guess the Door. We will end with a game of Guess That Door. And if anyone has any questions, now would be a good time to ask. Let's see. Well, let's play Guess That Door. Guess that door! Exclamation point! Question mark. 4, 5. Also, I think last time we did get a perfect on it. Also, if we get a perfect right now, we are 2 days closer to getting Diamantina, or double Diamantina. But there we go. Guess that door. 4, 5, or 6. This is one of the most important guess the doors we're ever gonna have. As we finally get the double Diamantina 2 days early if we get it right. Because we're currently sitting at 800, right? Because I didn't buy a Dragonite yet today, I don't think. So that will put us only 2 days away if we get a perfect right now. Or even 1 day away if we get a perfect tomorrow night. You never know. Alright, what's the voting coming out to? Looks like we got a 50% on 6. Let's see, which one is losing? Losing one has had such a high win rate lately. Alright, 4 is currently losing. Could be 4. Oh no, let's see. 4 is even losing even more now. 6 and 5 trying to compete for first. Could go either way. Let's see, second code after. If we get a perfect, we will hand out another code, yes. If we can click the correct door. Or if the popular vote is also on the correct one. Because I might not necessarily click the one that's highest voted for. Because I'm tempted to go for that 4. I'm so tempted. Okay, 5 and 6 are tied. The second 5, one of them goes higher than the other. We'll consider it. It's currently a tie between 5 and 6 with 4 trailing very far behind. Let me take a sip of water. Oh wait, I don't have a water. Oh yes, I do. I didn't see it hidden behind the other thing. Good old water. It's just still warm. It's actually from this morning. All the way from this morning. Probably from when we were recording the Mythic video. Gosh. That was like ages ago. Looks like 5 and 6 are still tied. So you know what that means? We gotta go for 4. We gotta go for it. Okay, it's time to fail. No, it was 5. No, it was 6. Gosh, we got web too. What is that? Web curse? Gosh, unfortunate. But anyways, let's go to Zolgoth build. Unfortunate. But yeah, whoever was voting 6 initially, you were right. The initial lead vote on 6 that eventually became a tie on 5-4. It was indeed 6. Anyone who voted 6, you were correct. Unfortunate. But anyways, any other questions, anyone? Because after we finish these 3 battles, we're probably calling it for tonight. Till tomorrow. And tomorrow's goal is mostly just to clean up every event that we haven't finished. If World Event isn't done by then, we'll do World Event, as I think we're a little bit behind this week. We'll obviously poke more at the faction event, and, you know, just kind of clear out everything else. And then Sunday night, we have Easter. Second code? No, not for tonight. Though we probably will on Easter for sure. And maybe tomorrow night, we'll see. Can't use up too many codes. But we definitely will hand out multiple for Easter, of course. On Easter itself, on Sunday night. You thought you said to either? Well, if it was the highest one, but it was a tie between the 2, so there wasn't really a highest one, necessarily. So we're almost going to lose this fight. Okay, we'll take the red. I don't want an angry mob here. Actually, now we have to. Alright, good. We got the resummon. So we'll take out that. Boom, boom, boom. Take our mana. Our fight's taking forever because we don't have a proper damage source other than the Zolgoth at this point. I don't want to kill out the Gorgoltha here. I do want to take out the mana drainer at this point. Get that down. Because he has nothing he could really do other than skulls. And there we go. Bit of a clunky fight. And one last fight, and we'll end it there then. But I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Easter weekend if I don't see you by then. But we'll be back tomorrow night with the regular. Also, I need to go dig out my bunny ears for Easter as well. I believe they're all in the bottom drawer over there. I have a bunch of holiday hats in there. There's a bunch of other stuff in there too, but it's also become my holiday hat storage box, of which there are several. And one of those include several pair of Easter ears. Maybe I'll even pick up a new one this weekend. We'll see. Like, some of them are starting to break apart after like almost a decade of being used. Some of those Easter eggs are starting to get old. I need some fresh pairs. There's a couple years back to back where we're getting like a new pair every single year. I just kept using the same ones for several years. Now they are getting rather old. Anyways, guys, we'll end it there. Enjoy Easter weekend. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful time. Wonderful holiday if you celebrate. And otherwise, have a wonderful weekend. And I'll catch you guys later. And tomorrow night, we'll finish out pretty much every weekly event that's going on this week. And we'll go from there. Anyways, guys, if you need any other explanation on everything else going on this weekend, we covered a bunch of videos on them earlier today. So definitely check out either the Mythic video or the faction video, going over everything with a deep delve. And I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.